What can I say? I love Industrial Light and Magic. Hello everyone, the new docu-series Light and Magic has premiered on Disney+, produced by Ron Howard and directed by Lawrence Kasdan, and it goes over the story of Industrial Light and Magic and its members and how they created special effects and how they pioneered effects for cinema. Oh my god. What can I say? I mean, unless you're living under a rock, you know who ILM is, with their iconic effects and work they've done in the Star Wars films, Jurassic Park, T2, Indiana Jones, Star Trek, some of the MCU films. Industrial Light and Magic has done so much. I have to say, this was a wonderful documentary. You know, when I was little, before we had DVD features, there was the Industrial Light and Magic kind of guidebook that showed you how they did some of the effects. And that was the most you got. And I used to remember reading that in the library over and over. And I have to say, I mean, it's just inspiring seeing what these group of individuals did and how they pioneered effects with Star Wars, you know. Known to them, it was the Star Wars. And this documentary features interviews from Industrial Light and Magic members, as well as George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, J.J. Abrams. So many filmmakers discuss the effects and the pioneering work they have done for the past 40 going on 50 years. I mean, I can't imagine a world without ILM. I love ILM. And you even get to learn about earlier members who later on became filmmakers, like Joe Johnston. You know, he worked as a model maker, matte painter. He had different areas of expertise. And no wonder he became an acclaimed filmmaker with Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and Pagemaster, Rocketeer, Jumanji, Jurassic Park 3, Wolfman, Captain America First Avenger. But then you also get to learn about other members who did have some art experience, model experience, and work with special effects like in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. But then you also get people who had no filmmaking experience. And that's just so cool seeing how, you never know what you're capable of until you try. And these people just went ahead and changed the world forever, you know? You also get other members such as Dan Mirren, Ken Ralston, producer Gary Kurtz, Lauren Peterson, Phil Tippett, and many more. This docuseries is in about 6 or 7 episodes, and the original initial episodes talk about the formation of ILM, how they made Star Wars, and it was so insightful because it shows you the camera rigs they made. They showed Flash Gordon serials back in the day, and they had strings, and you could see it, but the ships moved. In Star Wars, the ships were stationary, and it was a camera that moved. They built these rigs, so the lighting and everything would be consistent. And that's how they made the TIE fighters and stuff move. I love that. That is so cool that they did that in an age of pre-CGI. They showed the escape pod, how they got black velvet and some little micron dust, and then had a camera, and then dumped it like a basketball basket or a trash can, and that's what created the particle dust when the pod escaped that C-3PO and R2-D2 are on. You know, that's just so damn cool how they did that. I love it. How they went into the model making the X-Wings and TIE fighters look different, you know. TIE fighters being off the assembly line, X-Wings being more like hot rods, kind of pieced together of old junk, you know, with the Rebel Alliance. And the techniques were just as amazing as the effects they created, you know. And that's primarily the first couple of episodes. It's like Star Wars, George Lucas coming back from London. I mean, you've seen the Empire of Dreams documentary. They only had a couple of shots done, like the Death Star turret and the escape pod, so they had to rush and do over 400 shots in 6 months, which is pretty crazy. But I don't know, you know, looking back at this, it's maybe they needed just everyday people to work and pioneer these effects on ILM, not only with a passion, but they didn't know it was impossible. Studio people were this is impossible, we're not going to do it. These guys are well, it's impossible, but let's try this, let's try something. And I think that was the stroke of genius in Star Wars, the lightning captured in a bottle, you know, at that specific time in history. And it's just awesome seeing the Industrial Light and Magic members recollect their memories, seeing how young everyone looked and how they were starting out, you know. And I don't know, they didn't even know how big of a movie that was going to be, you know, if it was going to work or not. And it's just kind of crazy seeing how they changed the world of cinema forever, basically. And again, seeing some of the members become filmmakers kind of reminded me of James Cameron when he was a matte painter on Escape from New York, or when he was working on the Roger Corman movies. It's so cool. And then you get to see the challenges of how do they top the original Star Wars, how they close out a trilogy, the effects they started pioneering in the 80s with Indiana Jones and the other Lucas Spielberg films. And then going into the 90s, we get to see the world of CG with like Forrest Gump. We get to see Jurassic Park, the stuff they did on Schindler's List, and then later on to Minority Report, some of the Star Treks. Like, it's just insane seeing each phase of ILM and how they like pushed the envelope of what was possible in movie magic. And I love it too because it shows you how they created this illusion and how that's basically filmmaking. Ever since the dawn of its inception, it's been about illusion and bringing stuff that isn't possible. You know, I loved seeing each of the ILM members like home videos that were into effects back in the day. That was really cool to see. And as somebody who's a filmmaker, I mean, I just put a smile on my face seeing this story. And even if you're not a filmmaker, I think you're going to really enjoy this series. And I have to say, I love light and magic, and I love ILM. I love industrial light and magic. And I thank everyone out there in industrial light and magic for putting in their hard work and dedication and creating these effects and changing the world of not only cinema, but just the world in general forever. And I can't imagine a world without ILM. I mean, what can I say? All I can say is just go ahead and watch this on Disney Plus. About 6-7+ hours. If you take breaks, maybe a little bit more, but they're broken down in about 6 or 7 episodes, and they go through each stage of industrial light and magic and cinema in different eras. And it's just amazing to see how far we've come, you know? And also like how they did stuff before computers. Like, that's some real talent there. And what can I say? I don't know about you, but I kind of want to go ahead and make an old school, like a dogfighting space film with like Star Wars model ships now. I kind of want to go old school with it now, like they did back in the late 70s, early 80s. But yeah, if you're a fan, filmmaker, or anybody, watch it right now. I mean, I'm not going to really give this a score, but it's an A+. It is. I just wanted to share my love for this documentary and just bring awareness to it, tell people to watch it on Disney Plus. Seriously, you will not regret it. It's just great. It's great seeing movie magic at its finest. Anyway, those are my thoughts on light and magic. Be sure to subscribe for more videos and check out these other videos for more content. May everyone stay safe and healthy out there. May the force be with you always.